Hello, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Johnson. I'm the team leader. For our SFR presentation, we chose the country Brazil, and now I'm going to introduce my teammates, Sam, Kyle, Gracelyn, and Alex. And so now I'm going to hand it over to Gracelyn to talk about our objectives.
All right, I'm Gracelyn Long, and our objectives for this presentation was to gain an understanding of the culture in Brazil and any culture shocks that people might experience coming from a different country. And these culture shocks include the business culture, social space, and social culture. And the ultimate objective of this is to prepare employees before entering Brazil to ensure a smoother transition.
All right, I'm Kyle Friend. I'm going to be going over our first topic, which is business culture. So in Brazil, the first things that they want to do is build relationships and focus on social interaction. So whenever they go to a business meeting, they don't get straight down to business. Usually they'll talk with one another, get to know each other, probably go over a meal, and then get down to the business later on. With that, they like to have no rigid schedule. So in America, we like to schedule a meeting from 1 to 3. Over there, they would rather just say, "Oh, let's go get lunch and then talk a little business afterwards." Lastly, they have a Portuguese term pronounced jeitinho. The basic definition of this is just to find a way around an obstacle. In America, if an obstacle occurs, then typically we have to have a million steps on how to go around this obstacle. While over there, an obstacle comes along the way, they just find a way around it and move past it.
I'm Sam Hubbard, and I'll be talking about social culture. In Brazil, they have a very, very different way of interacting with one another and communicating as compared to America. The first big difference that they have down there is uh, physical contact, uh, hands on the back, handshakes when they greet, kissing on the cheeks. Vastly different than that of America. We tend to like to keep our distance and they tend to get really close. And this is important because we don't want our employees to feel alienated when they come down to Brazil. Another thing, their conversations tend to be incredibly informal and open. Uh, they also tend to be very direct. They don't like to dance around a topic. They just like get straight to the point. They won't try to fluff it up to seem kind of formal. If it's inefficient or not needed, they won't talk about it. And the last thing is gift giving. Gift giving is customary down there. If you ever get invited to an event or invited to a house, it's customary to invite or to bring a gift for the hostess.
My name is Mackenzie Johnson. I'm going to be talking about the soccer culture in Brazil. So there are over 776 professional soccer clubs throughout the country. Soccer is taught in school at a very young age to children. Brazil has won 5 FIFA World Cups, which is more than any other country in the world. And it is a big part of their pop culture. So on the left, we have a photo of Neymar, who's the nation's all-time top goal scorer in the game. Very popular, very famous player. And finally, it's a very big source of nationality. So a lot of Brazilians can relate over their love for the sport and for the game.
Hi, my name is Alex, and this is our works cited page. This shows all of our sources that we used for the presentation. And before we wrap up the presentation, I was wondering if there was any questions that anyone had. If there's not, then I'd like to answer Dr. LeGrant's question about what was the most rewarding thing and piece of evidence that we learned about the presentation process. And for me, that was learning about Brazil's nepotism culture. It's more common in Brazil for companies to hire within friends and family as opposed to outsiders, while in America, it's less common to see nepotism in workplaces. Mackenzie, was there any rewarding process for you?
So the most rewarding part of my research, I would say, would just be learning about how passionate the people of the country are about the specific sport. I learned that anywhere in between 40,000 to 70,000 fans attend each soccer game. So I just thought that that was pretty interesting to learn. Gracelyn, what was the most rewarding part of your research?
I'm Grace Long, and the most rewarding part of my research was the opportunity to indulge myself and truly understand the Brazilian culture and just get to somewhat experience a culture other than my own. And then, Kyle, what was the most rewarding part of your research?
I'm Kyle Friend, and the most rewarding part of my research was just being able to um, see a different culture and a different point of view. Typically in America, we just see what's right in front of us, and we don't get to see what happens in other parts of the world. I like that in Brazil, they're way more laid back and personal whenever they're conducting business. I think it would be a way more enjoyable way of conducting business. Sam, what was the most rewarding part for you?
I'm Sam. I found the most rewarding thing from this presentation was just learning about their social culture, just how they interact and communicate with each other. A big thing that I found just vastly different than our own society is just how personal it feels when they're communicating with one another. They're super close. They're constantly like uh, having making physical contact with each other, putting hands around each other, wrapping arms around each other. It's just different from what we experience here in America. It's a nice change of pace, really.
All right, I want to thank everyone for listening to our SFR presentation about Brazil.